The Memorial Day weekend was coming up, and the company was set to host some important guests. Our newest intern, Tessa Hart, pulled out her phone, opened an AI app, and said, "Get me the biggest private dining room at the Pinnacle for tomorrow night. 12 people." I heard her and let a small smile tug at the corner of my mouth. In my last life, I thought an AI booking was total bullshit. So I spent the whole night running around, making call after call, pulling every favor I had, just to secure a reservation at the hardest-to-book hotel in the city during the holiday. That day, the CEO praised me to my face. Then Tessa ran out crying, got hit by a car, and died on the spot. Welcome to Bibliophile Princess channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Story begins. My coworkers pretended to think she was just too sensitive. But on the 7th day after her death, they lured me back to the office, drugged me, and filmed me while they humiliated me. If you hadn't been so hell-bent on grabbing all the credit, Tessa would still be here. You just couldn't stand that she was younger and hotter than you, could you? You were terrified she'd take your job once she went full-time. You're pathetic. Exactly. She already had the Pinnacle locked down, but you had to stick your nose in and tell her she did it wrong. You love the spotlight that much? Fine. We'll give you more attention than you can handle. When I came to, I couldn't take it. I jumped. Then I opened my eyes again. Tessa raised her hand, her voice dripping with sweetness. All set. Tomorrow night, 12 people. The big room at the Pinnacle. I was the first one to clap. Tessa froze for half a second. Then she flashed a smug, victorious smile. "Elena, times change. Everything's automated these days. And sure, you're a bit older, but at least you caught on." The room erupted in snickers. Classic Gen Z. Always keeping it real. Tessa's not just sharp, she actually delivers. Way more than our precious senior manager, Elena. Tell me about it. Elena spends weeks on this every year, and Tessa knocked it out in a minute. Makes you wonder if Elena does it on purpose, just to make herself look busy. She's been milking that hotel booking for years, and that's exactly how she got promoted. Now she walks around like she's hot shit. I took a sip of my coffee and said nothing. The Pinnacle was the top hotel in the city. Hard enough to book on a normal day. During a holiday weekend? Forget it. And Walter Grand, the CEO of Grand Holdings, was notoriously old school. The man lived by tradition, manners, and above all, sincerity. He judged every partnership by how much effort the other side put in. One time, a vendor handed him a bottle of water that wasn't his usual brand. He ended the deal on the spot. Because of that, no one in our company had ever wanted to handle this assignment. Except me. I started the run 2 months early every year. Called in favors, leaned on old connections, even camped outside the hotel until they locked the doors, just to nail that reservation. Grant had been impressed. He said it right there at the table. "I appreciate the effort your team put into this. I won't forget it." And he did. The contracts kept coming year after year, the numbers growing by multiples. If this dinner went well, the next deal, worth $100 million, was all but sealed. But Tessa thought a single AI voice command could replace all that? I stayed quiet. Marcus Webb, our department director, looked uneasy. "Elena, you've handled this every year. You really think it's fine to hand it off to Tessa?" I met his eyes. Something twisted in my chest. Marcus had been my boss since day one. Watched me climb every rung of the ladder. But in my last life, after Tessa died, he was the one who pinned it all on me. The one who suggested they make me suffer. And I only found out after I died that there was more going on between them than I ever knew. Before I could speak, Tessa shot up from her seat, pouting, her voice climbing an octave. "Marcus, just because Elena's your golden girl doesn't mean you have to be so biased." "What do you mean fine?" "I booked it through the proper channels." She shoved her phone in his face. "Look for yourself. Chat Vibe says it already connected with. The hotel said they're rolling out the red carpet. They know who we're hosting. Plus Chat Vibe signed a deal with me. If they screw up the booking, they're on the hook for $3 million. What's there to worry about?" Then it hit me. In my last life, I doubted her 1-minute AI booking from the start. But when she mentioned that $3 million guarantee, I knew for sure it was worthless. Because that was just too ridiculous. This time, I just smiled and stayed quiet. I wanted to see who she'd go after for compensation when she lost us that $100 million contract. She caught the smirk on my face and lost it, pointing a shaking finger at me. Marcus, if you're this doubtful, it's because you still want Elena to take the credit, isn't it? Marcus saw her eyes go red and softened instantly. Then he turned to me, his expression hardening. Elena, that's enough. I was just asking a routine question. Don't act like you're too good for this. Frankly, this company could use more young talent like Tessa. Since Tessa already locked down the booking, she's taking point on the Grand Holdings account from here on out. And you'll support her fully. Whatever she needs, you make it happen, no questions asked. Understood? I let out a humorless laugh. I looked him dead in the eye. You want me, 10 years in this company, to take orders from an intern who's been here 3 weeks? Think about how that looks if it gets back to Harrison. I closed my laptop. Since you've already decided Tessa's handling it, I'm out. The room went dead silent. By the time Marcus snapped out of it, I was already at the door. Elena. His voice chased after me, sharp and shrill. What the hell is your attitude? You're really going to throw Harrison in my face. And so, what if your management? Management should be setting the example. I paused, my lips curving into a dry smirk. Didn't Tessa already book it? If it's booked, what do you need me for? I didn't bother looking back. I walked straight to my office and shut the door. I sank into my chair and stared at the framed photo on my desk, me and my mom. For a moment, nothing felt real. In my last life, that video spread everywhere. Mom fought through the crowd of influencers and reporters, tears streaming down her face. My daughter is not like that. Stop filming. She was forced into this. She's scared. Leave her alone. I believe in her. But Marcus shoved her aside. Ma'am, I've been her boss long enough to know exactly who she is. I used to watch her climb into some guy's car after work almost every night, disgusting. But I never thought she'd be trashy enough to bring random men into the office and film that kind of garbage. It's a complete embarrassment to this company. That's why I'm here today, to fire her on behalf of the company. At his words, the crowd surged forward. Mom stumbled, clutching her chest as she doubled over. I tried to scream. Stop. Someone call an ambulance. My mom has a heart condition. Please. Marcus glanced at me and sneered. Save the act. Trying to score sympathy points now. Actually, it makes sense. Your mom was probably loose back in the day. That's why she raised you alone. Runs in the family, right? Laughter rippled through the crowd. Mom kept trying to get up, to stop them from hurting me. Each time, they knocked her back down. Finally, she was on the ground, her lips white, one hand still gripping my sleeve. Elena, Mommy couldn't protect you. Just thinking about it made my chest ache. I pulled the frame close and held it. This time, I didn't care what happened to Tessa. As long as my mom was safe, that was enough. I set the photo back down and was about to open my laptop when the conference room door swung open. People filed out. A few glanced through my glass wall, then snickered under their breath. Look at Elena, acting like the company can't function without her. Please. The look on her face. She's just scared Tessa showed her up, and she's already bailing. Right? Senior manager can't even keep up with an intern. Embarrassing. They didn't even bother lowering their voices. A cluster gathered around Tessa, their excitement obvious. Tessa, congrats. Marcus said you saved the day on this one. After the dinner, they're making you team lead. Most people grind for 3 years to get that. You're skipping the line. Tessa giggled. Please, it was nothing. Just a few taps on my phone. Then she swayed into my office, hands on her hips. Elena, when do you think you'll have time to move out? I blinked. Move out? She saw my confusion and pressed a hand to her mouth, feigning surprise. Oops. I forgot to mention. Marcus said this Grand Holdings thing is the company's top priority right now. To make sure I can stay on top of it and coordinate with him directly, he's moving me in here. I mean, it makes sense. Since you're not really contributing to the company anymore, Why keep such a nice private office? I almost laughed. 10 years in this company for a tiny office, and this intern who just walked in thought she could take it? But nobody else batted an eye. They filed in behind her. Tessa, you're too nice. You're still talking to her after everything. This is Marcus's call. If she doesn't like it, too bad. Just toss her stuff. Exactly. Marcus has your back now. What's she going to do? They started grabbing things off my desk. I watched them, a bitter smile on my face. For the longest time, I couldn't figure it out. We all started at the same time. We'd worked together, struggled together. What did I do wrong? Why did they hate me so much? Until my last moments, lying on the ground, fading fast, I heard them. She started with us. Why is she 2 levels above? All she does is book that damn hotel every year. Big deal. Who knows what she does to lock it down? Running around at midnight. Probably trading favors. Exactly. How else? She's nothing special. That's when it clicked. Not hatred. Envy. But why? For nearly a decade, I'd ranked first in performance across the whole company. People came and went, but our team stayed solid. Bonuses hit every quarter. Because I held it down, made sure they all had jobs, made sure they all got paid. And they couldn't even see it. In the end, they killed me and my mom for Tessa. I stayed quiet, and they took my silence for fear, grabbing faster. Soon my desk was bare. Tessa smirked. Then she picked up the photo of me and my mom and tossed it into the trash can. Hope that's not a problem, Elena. I've got a thing about germs. I snapped. I shoved her aside, yanked the photo out of the trash, and held it tight. Touch my stuff again, and I'll have you packing your bags today. Nobody expected the usually easygoing me to push back like this. They exchanged uneasy glances. Packing? Marcus pushed through the crowd. Elena, Harrison's not here. I run this company when he's gone. If anyone's packing, it's the one who won't follow orders. My phone buzzed. I almost ignored it, but my thumb hit speaker out of habit. A warm voice came through. Hello, this is the member relations manager at the Pinnacle. I'm calling to confirm your booking for the penthouse on Memorial Day. It clicked. I'd started this process 2 weeks ago. Every year, they'd call around this time to lock in the spot. And today was the 8th anniversary of our partnership with Grand Holdings. I'd insisted on the penthouse, the best room they had. They'd actually come through. But now, I smiled into the phone. We've already booked something else this year. We won't be needing it. There was a pause on the other end. Are you certain? This is our last available suite for that evening. I nodded. I'm sure. Sorry for the trouble. I hung up. Tessa finally processed what just happened, then let out a sharp laugh. The last one, when I booked through Chat Vibe, it said there were several left. Elena, you really think calling around and putting on a show is going to get Marcus to hand her job back? She laughed and tapped the screen again. Switch my reservation to the Grand Ballroom, the biggest one. The AI fired back immediately. Done. Upgraded to the Grand Ballroom at the Pinnacle for 7 p.m. on Memorial Day. You're all set. Just mention my name, Chat Vibe, when you arrive, and they'll know exactly who you are. I said nothing. The Pinnacle's best room was the penthouse. There was no Grand Ballroom. The AI was just playing make-believe. But Marcus's eyes lit up. Now that's what I'm talking about. Tessa, you're brilliant. Can't believe you found a method this advanced. Don't worry. I'll make sure Harrison knows it was you at that table. That team lead spot is yours. He turned and swept his gaze across the room. What are you all standing around for? Clear Elena's desk, stick her in that cubicle by the basement stairs. If she gives you trouble, carry her out. A few of them smirked at me, their eyes full of undisguised glee. Before they could touch me, I grabbed my mom's photo and a few critical files and walked out. No looking back. They'd hand that office back soon enough. The next few days, Marcus kept the door shut with Tessa, using the dinner as an excuse to stay locked in together. The rest of the team scrambled to butter her up with gifts and praise. I didn't care. I just did my work quietly and stayed out of their way. Finally, Memorial Day arrived. We got to the Pinnacle early. Harrison Cole, our CEO, spotted me first. Elena, is everything set? Marcus grabbed Tessa and rushed over. Harrison, this one wasn't Elena. It was Tessa. Don't worry. Tessa booked the biggest, best room in the house. Mr. Grand will love it. We even brought the $100 million contract. Who knows? Maybe he'll sign right at the table. All Tessa's idea. Young people, so sharp. Harrison paused. Then the Grand Holdings SUV pulled up. Harrison dropped the conversation and stepped forward to greet them. Tessa sidled up next to me, voice low. Elena, I heard it took you 2 whole years just to get invited to one of these grand dinners? She sighed dramatically. That's so sad. I smiled coldly.
Tessa.
You might want to start thinking about how you're going to survive what's coming. Her head snapped up. Elena, 10 years in this place and you think you're untouchable? Marcus promised he'd replace you with me eventually. You just wait. With him backing me, you're not stealing any of the spotlight. She hurried to catch up. Walter Grand stepped out of the car, spotted me, and smiled. Elena, you've done it again. You really put your heart into this year's proposal, didn't you? Before he could finish, Marcus cut in with Tessa in tow. Mr. Grand, welcome. Actually, the room tonight was booked by our new intern, Tessa. Elena had nothing to do with it. He glanced sideways at me. Don't blame Elena too much. She's always needed a lot of hand-holding. Forget one thing, and she drops the ball completely. Lucky for us, Tessa was there to save the day. Grand's face went cold. I care about Elena's proposal work. Wouldn't the booking be handled by admin? Tessa's face flushed red. She opened her mouth. No, Mr. Grand, Harrison sensed the tension and jumped in with a gesture. Mr. Grand, let's go upstairs and talk over dinner. Tessa nodded quickly and ran ahead, waving everyone toward the lobby. Right this way. Mr. Grand, you're the most important guest at the Pinnacle tonight. They promised me a VIP experience. Right this. She froze. Staff members stepped into her path. I'm sorry, we're fully booked tonight. Grand's face went dark. He turned to Harrison. Harrison, what's this?
Marcus panicked.
He scrambled forward. I know you're full, but we have a reservation. We booked it. Reservation? The staff member gave him a flat look. Everyone who booked is already inside. And we require a biometric scan a day in advance for private rooms. None of you have done that. I don't know who you are. Biometric check-in? Marcus went pale. He spun toward me. What the hell is that? He was right. The Pinnacle's security was airtight. It had to be, with all the celebrities and executives who came through. I always came a day early to do the check-in. They just never noticed. Never paid attention when I blinked into that tablet at the entrance. Grand's assistant stepped in front of him, already bristling. Mr. Cole, if this is the kind of effort your company puts in, we might need to reevaluate our arrangement another time. I stepped forward. Mr. Grand, there's another hotel in the city, the Overlook. It's just as good. I've already got it booked. I've already booked it. If you're willing to trust me, I'll take you there now. I'd been working on this all week. Marcus and Tessa's self-destruction wasn't my problem, but Harrison's company had given me my start. And while they were hoisting themselves by their own petards, I still had a responsibility to salvage what I could. Harrison jumped on it. Yes, Elena's always reliable. Why don't we? Before he finished, Tessa shrieked at me. I knew it. Elena, you set this up. She stormed up to the manager, jabbing at her name tag. You're Vanessa, the floor manager, right?
Talk to me.
How much did Elena pay you to deny my reservation? She wanted to destroy my bookings so she could play hero and take Mr. Grand somewhere else. I'm telling you, I booked it. And if you turn me away, I'll report you. Marcus rallied behind her. Exactly. We have a reservation. Everyone in the office knows it. He turned and shoved me. Elena, enough. You couldn't get a table yourself, so you had to blow up hers? Amanda frowned. She pulled out a tablet and swiped a few times, cutting through their noise. You said you have a reservation? Give me your name and phone number. Let me check. Tessa's confidence flickered, but she held up her phone. You people don't listen until someone gets loud, do you? She thrust her screen at the manager. Read it. The grand ballroom at the Pinnacle. Tonight at 7. And we signed an agreement. If you don't honor it, you owe us $3 million. You're just an employee. Think about whether you can afford that. Amanda squinted at the screen. Then she rolled her eyes, tapped her collar mic, and said, "Security to the main entrance. I need guards.
Now.
Remove the disturbance." Tessa stumbled back. Are you insane? Disturbance? Who's causing a disturbance? Can't you read? Chat Vibe said to mention him. He said the booking was confirmed. If you don't let us in, you owe us $3 million. Amanda couldn't help but laugh. $3 million. She pushed the phone back. Miss, Chat Vibe is an AI. It chats with you. That doesn't mean it made a reservation. We haven't authorized any AI app for bookings. And we don't sign those kinds of agreements. Whoever promised you that, take it up with them. If you're going to keep causing a scene and dragging our name through the mud, we'll have you escorted out, and you'll be hearing from our lawyers. Tessa froze. She stared at her phone, lips trembling. No, impossible. I booked it. You have to let us in, Chat Vibe said. Said what? Amanda snorted. You got played by an AI. What's that got to do with us? And for the record, there's no grand ballroom here. The penthouse is our only top-tier room. You don't even know our room names, and you think you made a reservation? The air curdled. Marcus was ghost white, mouth hanging open. Gran gave him one cold look, then turned to Harrison. Harrison, this is who you sent to represent you. Mr. Gran. Harrison was sweating. I can explain. This is a misunderstanding. A misunderstanding? Gran cut him off. Harrison, I've been doing business for decades. I look for sincerity in the people I work with. And your company can't even put together a proper dinner. You let an intern use an AI to disrespect me. So here I am, Walter Grand, about to get thrown out of the Pinnacle because nobody bothered to make an actual reservation. This is your sincerity. Tessa was sheet white, trembling. Mr. Grand, Chat Vibe really said, just wait. I'll call their official line right now and sort this out. They signed an agreement with me. If they owe $3 million, I'll give you $1 million of it. Just please don't be mad. She actually dialed. The AI company answered, repeated 3 times that Chat Vibe was a chat-only tool with no actual booking functionality, and hung up. Tessa tried again. And again. Her number was blocked. She staggered back into Marcus's arms. Marcus, what do we do? Help me. But Marcus was already distancing himself. He shoved her away. Tessa, you're the one who swore you'd booked it. I trusted you. I didn't realize you just used an AI. Are you that stupid? You believed an AI conversation? Tessa gaped at him. She grabbed his sleeve. No, Marcus. You said you'd help me. Help you. He shook her off again. You made that AI reservation on your own. I had nothing to do with it. I'm a victim here too. Don't drag me down. I laughed. Then I pulled out my phone and hit play. Marcus's voice came through, breathy and intimate. Baby, you're amazing. One tap on that AI and Elena's gone. This is why I love you. On the screen, Marcus was sitting in my old office chair, arms wrapped around Tessa, face buried in her neck. Tessa giggled. You were scared Elena was going to overtake you in a few years, weren't you? Not anymore, right? Baby, I did something huge for you. How are you going to thank me? Marcus lifted her onto the desk. By getting my baby promoted fast, of course. I paused the video. Marcus finally registered what was happening. His hand shook as he pointed at me. Elena, you planned this. I shrugged. Marcus, that was my office. Wouldn't it be normal for me to have a camera in my own office? How was I supposed to know you'd be doing something you shouldn't in there? Does your wife know? Your kids? His panicked face made me sick. In my last life, I'd only found out about their affair after I died. And that was why he'd wanted me dead alongside Tessa. Tessa was already past caring. She hooked her arm around his. So, what if people know? Marcus's marriage is dead anyway. What we have is real. He's going to divorce her for me. Divorce? She had no idea who his wife was, did she? Marcus shoved her off. Don't lie. My marriage is fine. Then he turned, desperate, to Harrison. Harrison, don't believe her. She seduced me. Harrison took a deep breath, then slapped him across the face. Marcus, my niece treated you like family, and you did this to her? You're done. Get out of my building.
Right now.
Niece. Tessa's voice cracked. Marcus, your wife is Harrison's niece? Marcus was shaking with rage. He grabbed Tessa by the hair. This is your fault. If you hadn't wanted Elena's office, we wouldn't have staged this whole booking scam. You told me AI reservations were guaranteed. I believed you. Now what am I supposed to do? Walter Grand had seen enough.
He turned to me.
Elena, dinner is yours tonight. And I don't want to see any of the others at the table. I nodded and gestured. Of course, Mr. Grand. My car. We'll still make it in time. He nodded, waved at his assistant, and followed me out. Marcus tried to follow, but Harrison kicked him back. Did you not hear him? He doesn't want to see you. Marcus, betraying my niece and offending Mr. Grand. We'll deal with that tomorrow in my office. Now get out. Take that idiot Tessa with you. I took Grand to the Overlook. Same owner as the Pinnacle. Almost as hard to get into. But I had good connections. Grand was satisfied. Harrison slid the contract across the table. Mr. Grand, those two are gone now. If we could. Grand pushed it back. I won't sign. I understood. Grand was a man of principle, set in his ways. No room for second chances. Honestly, I was just glad he hadn't pulled our existing partnership. Harrison knew it too. He chuckled awkwardly and let it drop. The next morning at the office, everyone was waiting for me at the door. The second they saw me, they swarmed. Elena, we fixed up your office. It's spotless. Everything's back exactly where you left it. Marcus was even changing my water cooler, trying to act like nothing had happened. When I ignored him, he leaned in, voice low. Look, the contract's off the table anyway. No need to keep giving me the cold shoulder. I'm still your boss. I laughed. Then I walked to his office door and gestured inside. Marcus, when are you moving out?